Greetings, church family. It's hard to believe that I am speaking to you today, almost a year later, with a brief update from Church Council. When Alan asked me a year ago to share with you all what was being discussed at our regular meetings, I assumed it would be the last time I would need to create a video of myself, but here I am again. In January, Church Council began discussing what our path forward to 2021 would look like. At that time, we were deep in the purple tier, and vaccinations were only on the tip of our tongues. We recognized that it is vital to stay relevant in our faith and fellowship connections, now electronic rather than in person, as well as remain creative with our church service, production, and content. In addition to questioning continuously when can we reopen safely, we also asked how can we continue to connect spiritually in these unusual times with our congregation and our community. Alan began Epiphany with his Making New Connections sermon series, celebrating and encouraging continuing movement towards growing young. During this series and throughout the church council meetings, we have been encouraged to remain open to the ways God will lead and to say yes to every opportunity that unfolds before us. Like a spring flower unfolding, we have begun to see the fruits of our labor bud as the projects that support our direction come to fruition. Outreach and Communications is committed to providing excellent media services, including our new visual media arts system. Improvements to our audio equipment is being researched so that we can continue to be accessible to everyone in our community. In addition, the trustees continue to make improvements to our HVAC so that when we return to in-person worship, we can do so comfortably as well as safely. Youth and children's ministries continue to meet regularly with new and innovative ways to engage our young people through involvement in the Pentecost Circuit's children's worship, as well as regular children's time during our weekly electronic worship. Through our growing young cohort commitment, our youth ministries continues to seek out opportunities to be included in the keychain leadership as they challenge us to recognize their presence as essential to the life of our church. As I challenge the church council, I now challenge each of you. How will you incorporate growing young into your vision of church and who we are? What will be our next steps for the church, and how can we continue to move forward, grow, and develop? How can we continue to create spaces accessible to intergenerational groups to be present in our greater community? How will we continue to keep some pieces of who we are while repurposing other pieces more relevant for these current times? In closing, I would like to paraphrase a piece of Howard Thurman's meditation from The Temptation to Postpone, which Alan shared with us a month or so ago, as I encourage each of us to look forward while continuing to reflect on the previous year in our rearview mirror. The temptation to postpone living significantly occurs when everything has to wait until normalcy is restored. A time in which we are waiting, waiting, waiting. Thurman challenges us to cultivate a feeling for significance, significance in living, seeking ever for fullness, keenness, and zest as the open sesame to experience life in the living of life. I pray that in this year of waiting, waiting for COVID to pass, waiting for vaccines to be complete, waiting for church to open, you find your significance in living. Blessings to all of you. Can't wait to see all of you in person, and I pray that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Take care.